Good morning. Well, it's morning for me. It might not be morning for you while you're watching this, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for pressing play. There's one thing that I hope for you to get out of this video, and that is hope, optimism. That if you're navigating any uncertainty in your life, that you don't know, where things are going to go or how things are going to turn out or what you're meant to do next. The most important thing, I think, for you and for me, because I'm navigating uncertainty in my own life right now as well. And the most important thing is hope and optimism. And I think those things are severely undervalued in this world. And at the same time, I think hope and optimism are some of the things that we most need, all of us. You can never have enough hope. You can never have enough optimism. And I think our world is severely lacking in hope and optimism right now. So I hope that me being here and sharing this video with you right now can offer those things to you. And I believe that's my purpose in life. And that's what I've arrived at recently, is that my purpose is to spread hope and optimism in the world, because I've been through a lot of really challenging things in my life. And one thing that I've always been able to do is stay optimistic. Even now when there's a lot of uncertainty I'm navigating in my own life, not knowing where things are going in many ways, in my own life and in the world. The world's a scary place right now. And so I think in the face of that, again, it's really, really important for us to be optimistic. And being optimistic doesn't mean, what do they say, toxic positivity, the idea of just pretending like everything's going to be okay, because optimism isn't about pretending things are going to be okay. It's about choosing to believe that we actually are empowered to have an impact, to have the type of impact that we want to have in the world and in our own lives. And I think having the impact that we want to have in the world, and that good people like us need to have in the world, starts with feeling empowered in our own lives and feeling empowered to believe that we can shape our lives and we can shape ourselves in the way that we want to. And that's what this show is all about. This is episode 4 of my new show, Act As If. I'm recording a new episode every day for 30 days. I'm waking up before the sun, riding my bike into this beautiful local nature preserve, setting up my tripod. And every day I'm creating a new episode, and I'm sort of coming into this with an idea of what I want to talk about, with a theme, and then just sort of winging it, improvising. And that's one of the themes of this show, is creating structure and then giving yourself space to improvise and learn what wants to come through you, what wants to be expressed through you. Who is the universe? What is the universe calling you to become? Because I believe that there are forces that guide us and lead us through life, and that especially if we're navigating uncertainty, one of the most important things we can do is just learn to listen, learn to tune in, learn to get quiet. And if you are in the middle of uncertainty, maybe maybe you're between jobs, maybe you have a relationship that's falling apart, maybe you just feel inspired to become someone new and you don't know how you're going to do that. Maybe you realize that who you've been showing up as in your life isn't the truest version of yourself. And so you're ready to become something new. You're ready to step into greater authenticity. You're ready to become who you came here to be, because I don't believe we're just here. I don't believe that we're flesh and bone. There's so much more to us, and we're deeper, we're more multidimensional than I think we tend to realize most of the time when we're going through our lives. And so the question is, who are you? I believe we all came here for a deeper purpose. I believe that there's many things about life and about ourselves that we can't fully understand or explain. And that speaks to the nature of trusting that there's a deeper purpose behind our existence, trusting that there's things we're here to learn. I believe that every challenge and every struggle that we go through in life is an opportunity to learn something and move deeply into our purpose and discover what we're here for. And the important thing is that it requires getting out of your mind, and finding connection with deeper parts of yourself. Because when we navigate uncertainty, for example, again, if you don't know what's meant to happen in your life and you're asking for that sign, where is my life meant to go? What am I meant to do next? How am I going to create the change I want to create in my life? All of that is mental activity, and you can kind of spiral in worry especially when you're not sure, what you're doing or where your life's meant to be going or what you're meant to do. And so I think one of the best things you can do is learn to tune into a deeper voice. And this is one of the things I write about in my newsletter, River and Lake. And the idea is that river is your thoughts. River is the worries that often kick around in your mind, the worries that often we find ourselves driven by. How often have you been driven by worry in your own life? I know I've spent most of my life motivated by worry, making decisions based on worry about money, about security, about what people are going to think of me, about any number of things. And I think if you really want to discover and step into your deeper purpose in life, you have to get beyond the rushing currents of the river. And the rushing currents of the river are the rushing currents of your mind. What's the voice behind your mind? Is there a stillness inside of you? If you were to take the time, go into the woods today, if you live near any woods, or just get into nature and sit there and listen to a river, or I can hear the birds chirping right now. Can you hear that? If you really listen to nature, if you listen to silence, what does the silence want to tell you? What does your inner voice want to tell you? And I think the idea of listening to our inner voice in this crazy, fast-paced, chaotic, frightening, uncertain world can be sort of a frightening prospect, because we can almost feel like, and I speak from personal experience, well, my inner voice doesn't know what's happening in the world. My inner voice doesn't know how I'm going to get to where I want to be. But that's more river. That's more worry. And what if we just set the river aside and went a layer deeper and asked ourselves, what am I really being led to understand about life right now? What is life itself trying to get me to feel? And maybe in those feelings, through allowing myself to feel what maybe I've been afraid to feel for a lot of my life, maybe there I will be led to a deeper purpose. Maybe that is what will lead me to what I'm really meant to be doing with my time and with myself and with my energy and with the short time that I have here in this body, on this planet, as this person. So I want to invite you to maybe slow down today, connect with your breath. Do you know that your breath is one of the few functions of your body that is both automatic and something that you have control over? So even if you're not paying attention to your breath, you're going to keep breathing. Breath's always happening. Breath's bringing oxygen into your body, keeping you alive. At the same time, you can bring attention to your breath. And a lot of spiritual traditions throughout history really focused on breath as a gateway to the soul. I just learned actually this morning from something I was listening to on the way over that the Latin word for breath and soul are masculine and feminine forms of the same word. So there's a deep connection between breath and soul in Indian spiritual tradition. There's a whole period that's just focused on breath, just breathing, because there's something so profound about an aspect of us that is so simple, our breath. So how about we breathe together right now? Let's breathe together. If you're here with me, just kind of settle into your body. See if you can tune into the energy in your body. See if you can tune into your senses. Can you feel your hand? Something Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about, and I love this, is he says, how do you know you have hands right now? Don't look at your hands, but how do you know you have hands? How do you know you have a body right now? Do you have a body? Do you have a stomach? Do you have legs? Without looking, how do you know these things? And by doing that, you turn on what's called proprioception. You turn on your ability to tune into the internal workings and the internal experience of your body. And when you do that, that's when you begin to come out of your analytical, logical mind and connect with deeper parts of yourself, connect with the parts of yourself behind and beyond conscious thought or behind analytical thought, beyond the river. Is how, and the key is to get beyond the river of your mind and connect with deeper parts of yourself. The lake is right here, right now, in this moment. So as you tune in to the perceptions of your body, see if you can notice what you're feeling. See if you can notice what you're feeling that you didn't realize you were feeling a moment ago or when you started this video. Notice anything you're feeling that maybe you don't want to be feeling. Do you feel afraid about anything? Do you feel worried? And if so, can you allow yourself to simply be with those things? Try closing your mouth and taking an inhale through your nose and feel it come down into your belly. I'll do it with you. And hold it in your belly for a minute. Feel that breath in your belly. Try and tune into the energy that's moving. There's always energy moving through your body. And then let it out through your mouth. And let that exhale be extended, because when you do extended exhales, when you let your exhales be longer than your inhales, what that does is it sends a signal to your nervous system that it's safe to relax. Because when you are relaxed, your breath naturally does that. So again, this is an example of where your breath, what it does naturally, you can actually command it, take control of your breath to do things that you want it to do, send signals back to your nervous system. And so just using extended exhales, every time you do that, it'll send a signal to your body that it's safe to relax. So just do a couple of those and see if that shifts something in what you feel. See if that helps you feel more relaxed in this moment, more connected with yourself, because I believe that's where hope, that's where optimism lives. Worry, the fear that often drives us, lives in our mind. Feelings, I believe that feelings are sort of neutral. Feelings are objective. And a lot of the time we feel something in our body and then it sends us into our head and we start worrying, well, things aren't going to be okay. My life's going in a direction I don't want it to be in. And bring your attention back into your body. Notice the thoughts and just be with yourself. And it can be hard. I think one of the things that makes meditation hard, or that makes stillness hard for a lot of us, is that when we sit in stillness, when we let ourselves be in silence, when we let ourselves really be with ourselves, that's when things arise within us. And a lot of the time what arises are things that we've been afraid of, that maybe we've built our life around trying to avoid, built our careers trying to avoid. Maybe we have feelings inside of us that we've built an entire life around trying not to feel. But guess what? Who you are, who you're meant to be, your deeper purpose lives on the other side of those feelings, and letting yourself be with them. Because everything you feel is an aspect of who you are. So I didn't expect to talk about feelings so much today, but hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully I succeeded in giving you at least a little hit of hope or optimism Because again, the message here is if you're navigating something difficult, if you're navigating uncertainty, if you don't know where you're going next, the key really is to stop listening to what your mind is saying. It's not that everything your mind says is wrong, but a lot of the time we have what the Buddhists call monkey mind. Our mind just wonders and worries and runs around in ways that aren't actually conducive to our well-being and what we want. And so allow yourself to just notice what your mind is thinking.